Today we are looking at physical geography, and the topic is the solar system or the planetary system. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the meaning of the solar system, identify the position of the various planets in relation to the Sun, and describe the features of each planet. Many scientists think our solar system formed from a giant rotating cloud of gas and dust known as the solar nebula. As the nebula collapsed because of the gravity, it spun faster and flattened into a disk. Most of the material was pulled toward the center to form the Sun. Other particles within the disk collided and stuck together to form asteroid-sized objects named as planetesimals, some of which combined to become asteroids, comets, moons, and planets. The solar wind from the Sun was so powerful that it swept away most of the light elements such as hydrogen and helium from the innermost planets, leaving behind mostly small rocky wells. The solar wind was much weaker in the outer regions, however, resulting in gas giants made up of hydrogen and helium. So this is how the planets came to be, including the Sun. So we're going to look at the solar system, and we say that the solar system consists of the Sun and the 8 known planets. This solar system forms part of a galaxy, and a galaxy is a cluster or group of stars, and that galaxy is called the Milky Way. As I said earlier, a galaxy is defined as a group of billions of stars together with gas and dust held together by gravity. The pattern or arrangement of all the stars in the sky as seen from the Earth is also known as constellation. So now let's go to the planets. Planets are also defined as astronomical objects that orbit the Sun and does not shine with its own light. The 8 known planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The plane surfaces on which these planets revolve are the planes of ecliptic. We should note, however, that recent scientific discovery indicates that Pluto is no longer recognized as an existent planet, and the reason being that Pluto is too small to be called a planet. Secondly, a planet must always orbit around the star and not be the star itself. And to also be called a planet, you should have cleared the neighborhood around your orbit, of which Pluto hasn't been able to do so. So now Pluto is termed as a dwarf planet or a no planeta. So this is the reason why Pluto has been disqualified as a planet. So let's look at the Sun and its features. The Sun is at the center of the solar system. It is stationary, which means it does not move, and all the planets revolve around it in circular orbits. The Sun is the largest star or object in the solar system. It covers about 99% of the entire size of the solar system, and the remaining 1% is covered by the various planets. It has a surface temperature of about 6,000 degrees Celsius, which makes it the hottest body present in the solar system. It is the main source of light and energy to all the planets. The reflected light of the sun helps the planets to shine. It also helps the moon to shine at night. An image of the planet has been produced here, and as I said, it is the hottest body present in the solar system. Very, very hot, with a temperature of about 6,000 degrees Celsius. That is incredible. In fact, it is incredibly hot. Let's look at some importance of the sun. One of them is that the sun is the main source of light to the planets. It is also used to generate solar energy. And it has also been scientifically proven that the sun is a source of vitamin D, especially the early sunrise. The sun also enables plants to prepare their own food through the process of photosynthesis. The sun, moreover, enables humans to dry our things. Examples include the clothes, agricultural products, etc. Agricultural products, we can talk about the cocoa and all the other products that we dry in the sun. So now, away from the sun, we're going to look at the other 8 planets. So first, we look at Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. It is therefore the brightest of all the planets because of its closeness. Mercury is a place of high temperature due to its closeness to the sun. It is now the smallest of all the planets. It has a temperature of about 427 degrees Celsius, hence it cannot support life. Looking at this heat or this temperature, no life can live on Mercury. It is very hot, and it takes 88 days for Mercury to complete its orbit. Its distance from the sun is about 57 million kilometers. As the Earth takes about 365 days to complete its orbit around the sun, it takes only 88 days for Mercury to complete its orbit around the sun. And Mercury has no satellite. So that is it for Mercury. We go to the next planet. The next planet, which is Venus, is the second planet in order of distance from the sun. It takes 225 days to complete its orbit around the sun. It is usually called the Earth's twin because they are closely similar in size, mass, and density. Venus is also about 67 million kilometers from the sun. Venus, like Mercury, has no satellite. Recent scientific research has shown that it is the hottest planet in the solar system because it has a dense carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Its atmosphere is mainly 97% of carbon dioxide with about 1 to 3% of nitrogen. The temperature is estimated to be about 475 degrees Celsius, which is more than Mercury and more than any other planet. So this is an image of Venus, the planet. The third planet is the Earth. And as we all know, it is the only planet with life on it. It has one natural satellite, which is the moon, and this moon takes 27 days to revolve around the earth. The earth is the fifth largest planet. It takes 365 1/4 days to revolve around the sun, and it moves in an anti-clockwise direction. The earth is approximately 150 million kilometers from the sun, which is about 93 million miles. So this is an image of the earth. Yes. So from earth we go to Mars, which is the fourth planet from the sun. This planet appears as a reddish ball with some dark patches on the surface. That is why it is often called the red planet. At the moment, it is the next planet after Earth to have the possibility of supporting plant life. That is, there is a possibility that Mars can support life. It is about 227 million kilometers from the sun, and it takes 686 days to make a complete year. Mars has two moons known as the Phobos and the Deimos. So if you were to be on Mars, for you to be a year old, it will take you 686 days instead of the usual 365 days. So that is it for Mars. We go to the next planet, which is Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. It does not have a solid surface like the Earth. It has more gases like hydrogen, helium, and methane. So when you were to live on Jupiter, there wouldn't be any surface for you. I don't know how you survive, but that would be it. It is also the planet with the highest number of satellites or moons. So far, 67 natural satellites have been discovered around the gas giant. So as we said, the Earth has only one star, the Mars has two, but Jupiter has 67. Its distance from the sun is about 780 million kilometers, and it takes about 11.9 years to complete an orbit around the sun. So whilst it would take somebody 365 days to be a year old, if you were to live on Jupiter, it would take you 11 years 9 months to be a year old. Incredible, isn't it? Saturn is next. Which is the sixth planet from the sun and the second largest in the solar system. Like Jupiter, it does not have a solid surface like the Earth. It has 3 beautiful rings and 9 satellites. It takes about 29 years 5 months to complete its orbit around the sun. 29 years. Its distance from the sun is about 1.429 billion kilometers, very far away from the sun. And this planet also comprises of hydrogen and helium gases. So that is an image of the beautiful Saturn, showing the various rings of it. Now we go to Uranus, which is the 7th planet from the sun and the 3rd largest in the solar system. Unlike the other planets, Uranus orbits around the sun in a clockwise direction, that is from east to west. It has 5 satellites revolving around it. Its distance from the sun is about 2871 billion kilometers, and it requires an incredible 88 years to complete an orbit. The last planet, which is Neptune, is the 8th planet, which appears to be in similar color to Uranus. It is also a gaseous planet. It has only 2 satellites, and it is much colder due to its orbital distance from the sun. It is the farthest planet from the sun and requires 165 years to complete its orbit. Neptune, like Uranus, are sometimes called the ice giants, since they are largely made up of ice, ammonia, and methane. So that is an image of Neptune, and as you can see with Uranus, they very much look similar. So this is how the planets have been structured. We have the sun in the middle of the planets. We have Mercury, which is the closest. We have Venus, Earth. Then we come to Mars. From Mars to Jupiter. From Jupiter to Saturn, Uranus, and the last planet is the Neptune. So that is how the system has been structured. These planets have been grouped into 2, which are the inner planets and the outer planets. The inner planets are also known as terrestrial planets, and these planets are very close to the sun. They are also rockier in nature. The inner planets in order of distance from the sun include Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The outer planets are also known as the Jovian planets, and these planets are the ones which are the farther away from the sun. They are larger and made up of mostly gases. These planets can be found after an asteroid belt comes, and the planets include Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So the terrestrial planets are 4, and the Jovian planets are also 4. So this is how the planets have also been structured in terms of their groupings. So we have the 4 terrestrial planets, which have a rocky surface, and we have the 4 Jovian planets, which are more or less gaseous in nature. This is where we call the asteroid belt. The asteroid belt, the small rocky planets are found there. But they don't qualify to be a planet, but the way they look like is more of rocky in nature. So when you move from the asteroid belt, you go to the Jovian planet, which are more gaseous in nature. So that will be it for today. Next time we meet, we look at the nature of the Earth. But before we go, let's look at the summary of the lesson. We looked at the solar system, where we said it is made up of the sun and the 8 known planets. These planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. We said that the sun is at the center of the system, and all the planets revolve around the sun in elliptical orbits. With the planet, we said Mercury is the closest and short orbit planet. It is the brightest and smaller planet now. Venus is now considered the hottest planet, while Earth is the only planet that can fully support life with the moon as its natural satellite. Mars is at the moment the next planet which has the potential of supporting life. Jupiter is regarded as the largest planet with the largest number of moons, 67. Saturn, the next largest planet, has a unique feature of 3 rings. Uranus distinguishes itself from the other planets by revolving around the Sun in a clockwise direction, that is from east to west, and Neptune is the farthest from the Sun and requires 165 years to complete an orbit around the Sun. Pluto is no more a planet as it does not exhibit the features of the other planets. As we previously said, it is now called no planeta or the dwarf planet. So we will end here. See you next time. Bye for now.